So picture this. In Dagestan, dozens of people, and yeah, that includes kids, just got poisoned by their tap water. This whole crisis is bringing a decade-old government plan back into the spotlight, a plan that promised to fix this exact problem. So what on earth went wrong?
All right, so first things first, let's dive into what just happened that put this whole issue back on the map.
We're talking early April of this year. More than 30 people in one district in Dagestan, the Karabudakhkent district, all started heading to the doctor with the same scary symptoms, signs of poisoning.
And pretty quickly, it didn't take long for the press service of the investigative committee to point the finger at the most likely suspect, the local drinking water.
Then you have the official word coming down from Rospotrebnadzor, the federal health authority. They confirmed it. 25 people were sick enough to be hospitalized. And get this, over half of them were children. I mean, thankfully they said there were no severe cases, but still, an incident this serious? It definitely set off some major alarm bells.
And you know, this whole thing just makes you ask the bigger question, right? This isn't some brand new, out-of-the-blue problem. Water safety has been a known issue there for years. So how on earth are people still getting sick from what's supposed to be safe tap water?
And here's the real kicker. This whole crisis, it was totally preventable. I mean, there was a detailed government plan put in place specifically to stop this exact kind of thing from ever happening again.
To understand this, we've got to rewind the clock. Let's go all the way back to 2012. On March 2nd of that year, Dagestan's government passed a law to approve a brand new program, and its name was simple and to the point: clean water.
So what was this plan all about? Well, it was this really ambitious 5-year project to completely overhaul the region's water systems. The mission, on paper, was super clear: modernize all the old infrastructure and make sure that every single person in Dagestan had safe drinking water.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly did this clean water program promise to deliver?
Well, the official document laid out 3 big goals. First, and this is the most important one obviously, guarantee that drinking water is safe. Second, they wanted to be smarter about how they use their water resources. And third, they wanted to protect the environment. So you can see, it was supposed to cover everything from public health to ecological safety. And look, these weren't just empty words or vague promises. The program set out very specific, measurable targets. Just look at this. Back in 2010, more than 21% of water samples were failing safety tests. The goal? To slash that number down to just 7.3% by 2017. They had real, hard numbers they were aiming for.
Okay, so that was the plan. Now, let's jump back to the present day and see what the reality on the ground actually looks like.
And, wow. This really paints a picture of a massive disconnect, doesn't it? On one side, you have this big promise to drastically cut water contamination. And on the other, you have the grim reality of people getting sick from their water years after the problem was supposed to have been fixed.
And we can't just talk about this in terms of numbers and targets. We have to remember the human cost here. This isn't just a government plan that failed. It's about real families, real kids, dealing with the terrifying consequences of drinking unsafe water.
All right, so with this poisoning making headlines, what are the authorities doing about it right now?
Well, the official response has been pretty fast. You have to give them that. The prosecutor's office and the investigative committee are both looking into what went wrong, trying to find the source of the contamination. And the health authorities, Rospotrebnadzor, they've got an anti-epidemic team right there on the ground.
But you know, all these immediate actions, as important as they are, they don't really answer the big, lingering question that this whole mess brings up. A huge, comprehensive plan with clear goals and funding was put into place over a decade ago. So why? Why today are the people of Dagestan still facing a danger as basic and terrifying as poisoned water?